In view of this wide distribution of the fish symbol, its appearance at a particular place or at a particular moment in the history of the world is no cause for wonder. But the sudden activation of the symbol and its identification with Christ, even in the early days of the Church, lead one to conjecture a second source. This source is astrology, and it seems that Friedrich Münther was the first to draw attention to it. Jeremias adopts the same view and mentions that a Jewish commentary on Daniel, written in the 14th century, expected the coming of the Messiah in the sign of the fishes. This commentary is mentioned by Münther in a later publication as stemming from Don Isaac Abarbanel, who was born in Lisbon in 1437 and died in Venice in 1508. It is explained here that the house of the fishes is the house of justice and of brilliant splendour. Further, that in Anno Mundi 2365, a great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter took place in Pisces. These two great planets, he says, are also the most important for the destiny of the world, and especially for the destiny of the Jews. The conjunction took place 3 years before the birth of Moses. This is, of course, legendary. Abarbanel expects the coming of the Messiah when there is a conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in Pisces. He was not the first to express such expectations. 400 years earlier we find similar pronouncements. For instance, Rabbi Abraham ben Haya, who died about 1136, is said to have decreed that the Messiah was to be expected in 1464, at the time of the Great Conjunction in Pisces, and the same is reported of Solomon ben Gabriel. These astrological ideas are quite understandable when one considers that Saturn is the star of Israel, and that Jupiter means the king of justice. Among the territories ruled by the fishes, the house of Jupiter are Mesopotamia, Bactria, the Red Sea, and Palestine. Chun, Saturn, is mentioned in Amos 5:26 as the star of your God. James of Sarug says the Israelites worshipped Saturn. The Sabaeans called him the god of the Jews. The Sabbath is Saturday, Saturn's day. Al-Bumassar testifies that Saturn is the star of Israel. In medieval astrology, Saturn was believed to be the abode of the devil. Both Saturn and Aldebaoth, the demiurge and highest archon, have lions' faces. Origin elicits from the diagram of Celsius that Michael, the first angel of the Creator, has the shape of a lion. He obviously stands in the place of Aldebaoth, who is identical with Saturn, as Origin points out. The demiurge of the Essenes is a fiery god, the fourth by number. According to the teaching of Apelles, who had connection with Marcion, there was a third god who spoke to Moses, a fiery one, and there was also a fourth, the author of evil. Between the god of the Nassians and the god of Apelles, there is evidently a close relationship, and also, it appears, with Yahweh, the demiurge of the Old Testament.